So, dear learners, in this particular video, we will be discussing about the fourth software process activity, that is software evolution. So, I hope that all of you have gone through the previous three videos where we have covered the first three activities: software specification, software design and implementation, and software validation. Okay. So, one after the completion of software validation as the third activity, validation is nothing but what? Testing. Once the software system has undergone the testing, assume that the software is put into the market and it will be start used by the customers, that is the end users. Once the end users are going to start using the software there, okay. So, after few months or few years, then automatically based on the change requirements which are coming from the end users, our software has to undergo change. Our software has to be get modified. That is called as what? Software evolution. Okay. So, basically the with respect to software evolution is concerned, we need to say that always our software is inherently flexible and it can change. Okay. So, when you compare with our software as a system with any other systems which have been developed using the other engineering disciplines are concerned, our software is more flexible always. It can be very easily the changes can be done or the software can be modified when you compare it with the other systems are concerned. Say for example, say if you take in civil engineering, if you are going to construct one big building and later if you want to make changes for that building, it's not so easy. You cannot go on changing that the building that you have constructed. It's very difficult. Is it clear? Okay. But at the same time, even if we say that the software is flexible and we can make the changes to the software, okay. So, the another problem with our software is modification and changes are also not so easy. Why? Because we used to say that our software is always intangible. Intangible in the sense what? There is no physical existence for the software. You cannot go and touch that. You cannot see the software. See for example, so today if you are using operating system, it's such a big software which comes with thousands of variety of programs. If something goes wrong with that operating system, and where we will go and check that, how exactly you are going to find out the mistakes, where you are going to modify, where you are going to make correct the mistakes there. It's not so easy task. At the same time, if your system is physically existing, see for example, say if right now if you are having a mobile as a hardware device, if something goes wrong, you can go and check that, you can verify. Or if you are building, if you say if somewhere some crack or something might have happened, you can physically go and you can check it out where exactly the problem is there, that you can easily find out. But that is not possible with our software, just because what? The software is what? Intangible. So, that is the major challenge with respect to our software evolution or software modification is concerned. And another important thing is, okay, so software change is to take place because what? Our requirements are going to change. And how the requirements are going to change? Through what? Through the changing business circumstances. So, it means that today we are all using the software for our own business process, and our business process, we cannot continue with our same business process for 2 years, 5 years or 10 years. Okay. So, depending on different conditions and circumstances, my business process will be go on changing. Okay. How my business process will go on changing? At the same time, I may need to change my software also. I have to modify the software. I have to add something. My functionalities have to undergo change. I need to add some new functionalities. Is it clear? So, automatically the software that supports what? The business, it should also evolve and what? Change. So, this is the major reason for what software system evolutions are concerned. At the same time, evolution is not only because of the changes, sometimes we may need to maintain the software. Once the software is given to the end users and the end user will start using the software, there may be some problems or there may be some errors that might be occurring in my software. At that time, we have to fix the bugs. We have to identify where exactly the problem is arised. So, that it's also a part of what? An evolution. So, that is why evolution is not simply changing or modifying the software, it's also is a combined part of what? That maintenance also. Is it clear? But with respect to this maintenance or evolution of the software is concerned, there is a big what you call a differentiation that we can observe over here, especially with respect to the word development and maintenance. Okay. So, when I am going to say that software engineer and maintenance engineer, just have a look at these two words. So, automatically you will get some sort of a kind of difference in your mind. Is it clear? No one wants to become a maintenance engineer, everyone wants to become what? Software engineer, developer. Okay. So, see there, development is also a part of software engineering, maintenance is also a part of software engineering, but still we used to identify some sort of discrimination between what? This development and maintenance, but earlier it was there, but nowadays that is getting blurred, even that boundary is also what going out. So, we cannot differentiate, and we cannot say that maintenance is not so important. Maintenance is also very important. Okay. So, the importance that today we are going to give for development, the same importance has to be given for what? Maintenance. Why? Because today if you develop one software, the same software has to be used for next 5 to 10 years. So, it means that for next 5 to 10 years you have to maintain the software, that is very important. So, that is why, so there is no difference between or we cannot discrimination between maintenance or development, or this is better or this is better, like that it cannot be done today. Okay. Moving ahead, just have a look at here how exactly our system evolution will take place. Okay. So, looking at this particular diagram is concerned, see there we always start with our defining the system requirements. Okay. So, normally once we start using any existing software, we normally we used to come across a kind of different requirements or new requirements, or a kind of modification that is to be done. So, that will come into picture. Okay. So, when we will define such kind of requirements there, then we need to assess what? The existing system. See there, first we have to study what exactly there in the existing system. In my existing software, what it is giving the functionalities, what it is giving the services, that has to be assessed first. Okay. After assessing, then we can go for what? Proposing the system change. For example, say in your existing software, if there are 50 functionalities have been defined earlier, out of that today, as your business process will change, you may need to change 10 functionalities, then you have to identify out of 50 functionalities, how many functionalities that has to be undergo what? Modified or what? Changes, because of there is a change in what? Your business process. So, that we can identify only when we are going to assess what? The existing system. After that, we are going to propose what? Out of 50, 10 functionalities have to undergo what? Change. Then those 10 functionalities will be get what? Modified. Then what we will get? A modified system. Okay. So, when the system will be get modified, we are going to get what? A new system. A new system in the sense what? An improved or new version of the system that we are going to get. And once the new version of the system we are going to get it, we will be using that system for few more months or years. After that, once again my business process will change, and once again I will go for what? The changes. And just observe here, this particular the whole diagram is a cyclic process. See, evolution will never stop. See here, it is a continuous cyclic process. Even after getting a modified new version of the system, after few months, once again some changes have to be done for my software, and we are going to make what? The changes. Once again we will modify the system. So, that is why changes will never stop. Always do remember this. Is it clear? Okay. It is a continuous process. So, that is the reason that my software will go on changing. And today if you observe, you are all using so many apps in your mobile. Are you going to use the same app for 1 year or 2 years? Have you used any apps there? Every month there will be an update. What is that update? That update is nothing but what? Some new functionalities have been added to what? Your app, or some existing functionalities might have been what? Modified. Some new features have been what? Added. Some unwanted functionalities might have been what? Removed. So, it means that your app is undergoing what? Change. How it is going to undergoing change? As per the requirements of what? The end users. Why? Because the end users expectations are what? Changing. End users requirements are what? Changing. So, that is the reason that my software should go evolving, or it has to undergo change, or it has to be get modified, and it should be get maintained, because of what? My requirements and services are going to get what? Change. Okay. So, this is all about what the software evolution is concerned. Okay. So, hope we have completed all the 4 very basic and the basic activities of what the software process, software specification, design and implementation, software validation, or is also known as testing, then finally software evolution, or is also known as what maintenance. Okay. Thank you.